At -5 degrees Celsius, the cold is rather pleasant, and all that's needed to be warm is a hat and scarf. The fluid in your nostrils freezes at -20 degrees Celsius, and the brisk air makes it impossible to breathe without coughing. Frostbite is a persistent risk, since the air will become cold enough at -35 degrees Celsius to quickly numb exposed flesh. Even wearing glasses becomes challenging at around -45 Celsius because the metal sticks to your cheekbones and will rip off pieces of flesh when you try to take them off. This is the story about a city that runs and thrives in such a harsh environment. Hello, and welcome back to INO 6, where we discuss everything about innovation, construction, and future civilization. In today's video, we'll learn about Yakutsk, the coldest city on Earth. So, without wasting time, let's get started. Yakutsk, a city of more than 300,000 people, is roughly 300 miles south of the Arctic Circle and experiences extreme cold throughout the winter months to the point where citizens cannot wear eyeglasses outside without their skin freezing to the lenses. Do you live by the phrase, "The cold never bothered me anyway"?
Cold never bothered me anyway.
From the movie Frozen? So let's put your tenacity and perseverance to the test. The world's coldest inhabited region is the Republic of Sakha, often known as Yakutia, which is located in the Siberian region of Russia. With an average winter temperature below -35 degrees Celsius, this region will give you terrible frostbite as soon as you leave your hotel. However, that only scratches the surface of what's it like to live in Yakutsk, the nation's capital. The capital city of the Sakha Republic in Russia is Yakutsk City, which is situated about 450 kilometers south of the Arctic Circle. The city is the coldest on Earth. The city had a population of 269,601 as of the 2010 census. It's anticipated to have increased to at least 300,000. One of Yakutsk's primary roles is as a port for the Lena River. Yakutsk Airport and Bagan Airport are its two airports of service. The city also takes pride in being one of the top sources of diamonds. Yakutsk is extremely frigid. Yakutsk experiences pleasant, partially cloudy summers and bitterly cold, snowy winters. The best time of year to visit Yakutsk for warm weather activities is from late June to early August. The average annual temperature ranges from -44 degrees Fahrenheit to -77 degrees Fahrenheit, although it's infrequently lower than -57 degrees Fahrenheit or higher than -89 degrees Fahrenheit. You can't even use eyeglasses in such conditions since they'll stick to your face right away. Because you wouldn't be able to start cars again and milk is traded in ice blocks, cars must be operated 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. The coldest months of Omyakin are December and January, therefore if you want to experience such extreme weather, travel during those times. The length of the day in Omyakin, which is not far from the Arctic Circle, fluctuates from just over 4 hours in December to nearly 21 hours in June during the months of the White Nights. The so-called Road of Bones, the only road connecting Yakutsk with the coastal city of Magadan at the Sea of Okhotsk, must be driven in order to reach Omyakin. Somewhere in the midst both cities is Omyakin. The street's name derives from the fact that it was constructed by Gulag inmates during the oppressive Stalinist era. Traveling the Road of Bones to Omyakin is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, especially in the winter, despite the sad history of the construction. According to locals, there are enough lakes and rivers in the area for each resident to have one of each. They take great pride in the fact that the region includes every element in the periodic table. According to a local story, the god of creation had been flying over the world distributing riches and natural resources, but he arrived in Yakutia and his hands became numb and he dropped everything. Yakutsk's remoteness is also remarkable. It's 6 time zones away from Moscow, and it would have taken more than 3 months to travel between the two 2 centuries ago. Living standards in Yakutsk, Russia. As the administrative, political, cultural, and scientific hub for the entire Russian Far East Federal Region, Yakutsk is well known today. However, it didn't begin that way. Yakutsk and its surroundings served as a haven of exile for Russian revolutionaries in the middle of the 17th century. Yakutsk was founded by Cossack explorer Pyotr Beketov in 1632. The Russian Empire's administration referred to the region as a jail without bars because of its harsh environment. The region's industrial growth in the 19th and 20th centuries is when Yakutsk's economy reached a turning point. Currently, regional mining accounts for a disproportionately big portion of Yakutsk's economy. Although it happens frequently, diamond mines are much more profitable. Additionally, businesses in the Sakha Republic create 26% of the world's uncut diamonds. Another sought-after commodity in the area is gold, where massive mining operations can be even observed from space. Locals relied on trading furs and other items and transporting them on the Lena River, which skirts the eastern side of Yakutsk before the region's gold and other minerals were discovered in the 1880s. Despite the abundance of natural riches, many people who live outside the city face extreme poverty. Some people don't even have the means to live in shelters much more comfortably than they can for their farm animals. Yakutsk's typical monthly wage is equivalent to roughly $600 per month. For long fur coats, which each can cost more than several months' worth of income, banks are at least willing to offer loans. Yakutsk locals are aware that going outside in the cold is not recommended unless absolutely necessary, but when you do, you must put on layers of wool, down, and fur to ensure your survival. Regarding the region's usual diet, inhabitants largely rely on dairy products, meat, fish, and foraged foods like berries. Popular reindeer meat dishes include indgrika, which is just fish cubes that have been slightly thawed and is served with onion, salt, pepper, and vegetable oil. Making sure that a car battery doesn't freeze to death in the cold is a significant issue that Yakutsk residents face every winter. There are various ways to stop this. Parking heaters are an alternative that drivers have, but they are pricey and not necessarily the safest. Drivers can use them intermittently throughout the day and before starting their cars. Covers and blankets. You may buy thick, full-body covers to drape around your car when you park it. Because they can be left on the automobile while it's moving, engine blankets are another preferred option. Extra windows. To try to trap as much heat as possible within the automobile, drivers can put a second layer of windows or film inside the car. Leave the car running. Yakutsk residents do, in fact, leave their cars running throughout the winter. The reason behind the record temperatures. Because land heats and cools quicker than the oceans, global temperature extremes tend to occur over continents. Snow and ice cover also play a role in Siberia, helping to keep the region cold by reflecting incoming solar radiation back into space. As a result, in the winter, a massive semi-permanent high-pressure zone known as the Siberian High forms over Siberia. High pressures over high-latitude continents are noted for having stable air, little humidity, and clear skies, resulting in extremely chilly surface temperatures. This is because low humidity and clear sky allow Earth's long-wave radiation to reach the top of the atmosphere and be discharged into space. Topography is also important in terms of the conditions in Yakutsk and Oymyakon, as these areas are in local valleys, surrounded by higher topography, and the consequences is that the so-called cold air lakes easily form in calm winter circumstances. These pockets of chilly, heavy air might become stuck near the valley floor. This effect is increased for Oymyakon by the comparatively high elevation of the surrounding mountain ranges, which helps to protect the cold air lakes from mixing with warmer air. Why is Yakutsk the newest popular tourist destination? One of the world's most isolated major cities is Yakutsk. It's only connected to the rest of the highway network by one road, which is accessible only by crossing the Lena River. Either a ferry ride or a journey through the Winter Ice Road are necessary to reach Federal Highway A360, often known as the Lena-Yakutsk Highway. At certain times, it's only possible to cross by hovercraft or helicopter as the ice breaks up into floating ice floes. The highway was unpaved until 2014. The 747 miles may be driven in around 12 hours, even in ideal frozen conditions. Yakutsk tourists' attractions. The Lena and Sanya pillars are a fantastic tourist location. One of the three major Siberian rivers, the Lena, is vital to Yakutia. The river flows from the south to the north throughout the entirety of Yakutia, starting about 5 kilometers to the northwest of Baikal Lake until ending up more than 4,000 kilometers north of its source in the Arctic Ocean. A tributary of the Lena River is the Sinya River. Nature has created unusual pillars on the banks of the Lena and Sinya rivers, reaching a height of more than 100 meters around 200 kilometers south of the city of Yakutsk, where the Lena and Sinya rivers meet. UNESCO acknowledged the site's distinctive beauty and added it to its list of World Historic Sites. Without a doubt, you gotta visit them. Both Moscow and Yakutsk are experiencing chilly, snowy winters. For Britons, who are accustomed to labeling any temperature on the wrong side of zero as Siberian, the distinction between cold and much colder may appear nebulous. The temperature difference between the two snow-covered cities, however, is as significant as the difference between the coldest winter day in Britain and a hot July scorcher in the south of Spain. Despite the fact that the inhabitants are going about their business as usual, and children are laughing and playing in the snow on the central plaza, locals are a little better at dealing with their environmental bad luck. The market is still alive with courageous folks selling frozen seafood, pork, and horse hearts. Nina, a Yakut woman who spends 8 hours a day at her fish stall, says, "Of course it's cold, but you grow used to it. Human beings can adapt to almost anything." When asked if the harsh colds caused her any health issues, she seemed confused and said, "Why would it be harmful to one's health? I'm perfectly fine." That's it for today. Hope you liked the video. Share it if you did. Like and comment on the video that you want to see next on our channel, and subscribe to see our future videos. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep watching.